It's Randocast time.
Yeah, we haven't had one for a while.
I'm Anna.
I'm Serge.
What's the Randocast about tonight?
We're talking about the incredible trio.
The heroic trio.
Right.
Isn't that why you had your phone out to make sure you said the right things?
I'm just looking at the character list. Anyway, so the heroic trio.
It's a Hong Kong movie. I don't know how it sounds in Cantonese, but in Mandarin it's called 东方三峡.
Right. Okay, so first of all, let's just launch into this properly. The reason we're reviewing this is because this movie was actually mentioned in the book.
Heroine Complex by Sarah Kuhn.
Yeah. And so, maybe if you like this movie, then you have some kind of heroine complex. Because it's about heroines.
It's about 3 women who are basically superheroes.
Yep. And they are Ching, or number 3, or Tung, who I guess is like the wife of a police officer, but she puts on a mask. But it only covers her eyes, but nobody recognizes her.
It's like the Batman thing.
Yeah, but she's the actual good character in this movie. Whereas Ching, or number 3, is like the evil one that has a change of heart at the end. Spoiler alert! And then they have another one called Chat, I guess, who is kind of like the rogue character, like the chaotic good, if you're into the D&D. And so she's like...
She was my favorite.
Yeah, she's really cool. I thought she was really well acted too, actually.
So Michelle Yui plays Ching, or San, number 3. She's also known as the Invisible Girl. Anita Mui plays Tung, or Stone Fox in the American or English version, but it's Wonder Woman in the Kanto version. And Maggie Chung plays Chat, or the Bounty Hunter, the Thief Catcher.
Oh, yeah. I remember them calling her the Stone Fox. That was funny.
Damien Lau plays the detective that's
right.
married to Anita Mui's character. So if you watched... I'm an ABC, so I grew up watching a lot of Hong Kong movies and Chinese martial arts movies. So this was my childhood. All these actresses were huge in Hong Kong cinema. These are like... Anita Mui was basically considered Madonna of the West. She had a sold-out show in London. Like she was big in the music scene. I think Maggie Chung is also
Madonna of the West,
or of the East. Sorry, did I say West?
Yeah,
she's Madonna of the East. She actually passed away in 2004 from cervical cancer.
Right. Anyway, so hey, all right.
Ooh, she's dead.
Yeah. Ooh. Anyway, look. This movie is really bad.
Yeah, it was pretty bad.
People who might like this movie, if you're like a teenager and you're really into really old school 80s martial arts movies, then you might like this.
You would have liked this movie in high school, I think.
I think so. I mean, I kind of enjoyed it.
Did you?
Yeah, it was kind of fun, but it was
bad fun.
You know what?
This is what our friend would call a bad good movie.
What you gotta see here is that the cinematography and a lot of the choices that the director made during the shooting of the film and in the cutting room are just horrible choices. There's a lot of scenes that don't make any sense. A lot of the characters get introduction scenes that are really stupid. They get a lot of backstory that is shown badly. And it's just a lot of it's just not good. But if you look behind it and you see the really obvious symbolism that they're trying to go for, and you realize okay, they had a good idea and they had no execution. It looks like a high school project. And
it looks like an old school Hong Kong production.
Yeah, you know what? I've watched a lot of those old school Hong Kong movies, a lot of the old, Jackie Chan movies, like Drunken Master. And at least in those movies, they kind of make the strings a little less obvious.
Well, they didn't use strings for Jackie Chan things. That's why Jackie Chan's movies are so good, because he did all his own stunts with the JC team, I think they're called.
Mm-hmm.
They they were basically uninsurable because they did all their stunts. Whereas in this movie, clearly none of these people are doing their own stunts, and all the stunt people are on strings.
Yeah, it's pretty bad.
It was pretty bad. Like, you can't really compare this type of movie to Jackie Chan's things because they were very innovative with the type of things they did.
Right. So it's kind of, but the other part of it, but that's not what I was talking about, though.
Okay.
Right.
Right.
As I was talking about, the way this movie was cut together.
It's pretty bad.
Was horrible. Like the scene with the children blowing bubbles. Like, okay, yeah, it's kind of a beautiful scene. It doesn't fit with the rest of the movie. The way the character number 9 was introduced didn't make any sense. He just came up, like, his introductory scene
was fighting with someone on his own team.
Yeah, he was fighting number 3, and he came off as completely inept and useless. And then later on, he's made out to be like some kind of badass and not somebody to be trifled with. And then in the end, he ends up getting killed by being fooled by a simple trick. So I don't know. He's at the same time formidable and yet simple-minded. Maybe we get his character, maybe not. The final scene of the movie where the evil villain is defeated, apparently he's defeated by like the power of like thought and love, and it's like foreshadowed by like the part of his brain sticking out of his like shattered skull. It's pulsating, and you're supposed to, I guess, realize that it's like only thought that can kill him. And then they talk about like it's his life force and blah blah blah. So she kills him with her thoughts. Like when like fighting him doesn't work.
Well, that entire scene was straight out of Evil Dead.
Yeah, but the thing is, like, there's better ways to convey that than the way they did that.
There are better ways to convey a lot of things
yeah.
in this movie that they didn't do.
I feel like this movie had a lot of good ideas that were hamstrung by really terrible special effects. And
I think one of the issues also in this movie was the dubbing. I do feel like some things where if it were in, I was translating some of the stuff to Mandarin in my head, and it's something that there were phrases that I would know that they had in like the wuda pian that I watched as a child. But when you translate it, like do a direct translation to English, it just made like the toxic in your. And then when they were talking about the toxic in the blood, it just made no sense.
I didn't have a problem with that personally.
I really did.
It didn't bother me at all.
Really?
No.
Huh.
And I think it worked fine. Actually, I didn't have any problem with the acting whatsoever.
The acting was good.
Or the dialogue. The dialogue was fine. I think the main issue was horrible special effects, and the movie cut together by somebody that had never made a movie before is what it looked like. It was not polished. It was not put together well. I feel like the actors were really let down, and like the main feeling behind the story was let down, because this is at its heart like a pretty simple superhero movie. It's got like a redemption story. It's got that like rogue with a golden heart story, and it's got just the straight shooter that like believes in everybody, and gives everyone like a third chance. And it's great characters. Like, a good core to the story, executed really poorly.
Well, the script itself wasn't that great, because some of the character introductions weren't done very well at all. Like, the inventor doctor guy.
Right.
That character, I had no clue what the hell was going on when they introduced him.
Mm-hmm.
And even when they were introducing some of the characters, it just did not make sense. Like, the chief inspector guy that lost his son for a little bit. It was weird. It was odd. I feel like it wanted to be a comedy at some parts, and it just failed very hard.
Well, what happened was, this is basically how it works, right? Matt Sanche's guy's character development for number 3. Chief Inspector guy is character development for Thief Catcher. And, like, the detective police guy is character development for, Wonder Woman or whatever her name is.
Right, but
done really
you're
poorly.
Supposed to care about those characters
right.
in themselves,
yeah,
not just as character development. That's what the problem is.
Yeah. No, I am completely agreeing with you.
Yeah, so there were some good parts of the movie. I loved the rogue character, the thief catcher. He's a really funny character that brought a lot of the light moments.
Sure. Comic relief.
Yeah, she was pretty great comic relief. Some of the over-the-top violence was poorly executed, and I thought that to be pretty hilarious. When they were going through the maternity ward where the nursery where all the babies were, and they were like checking all the cribs, but they were pointing their guns at all the babies.
Yeah, the
that was
police were
flawed.
like pretty inept with the way they handle their guns. They're just pointing them everywhere.
Oh, and then when the baby was falling from the two babies were falling from the roof, everyone just cleared a space for the babies to land on the ground.
Right.
I couldn't figure that. Like, you can catch the baby. Like, the baby's gonna die if it hits the ground. You might injure the baby horrifically if you catch it poorly, but it's better than just letting the baby slam onto cement.
Right.
And that was weird.
Yep. So anyway, if you read Heroine Complex and you were wondering like where some of the inspiration for that book came from, I guess this movie is like something that you probably don't want to watch, but we watched it for you. And now you know what it's about. And
Yep, she describes it as a movie with 3 female superheroes, and that's what you get. You're welcome. We watched it. There's actually a sequel to this movie, and it's pretty hilarious if you read the synopsis. I'm kind of trying to figure out how this world came about from the world we just saw. But it's, they reunite in a dark post-apocalyptic story set in a world ravaged by war, torn by social and political strife, and desperately short of uncontaminated water.
what?
Did you get a hint of that at all?
No, but I mean, like, one of them can cure poison with needles, like instant acupuncture, so I guess that works with contaminated water plotline.
Well, I mean, she managed to fix up her husband with a broken leg, a broken arm, and, like, it looks like a fractured skull pretty quickly.
Yeah, maybe...
He was on his feet in, like, a day.
Right, maybe number 3 can use the cure that made the lilies come to life to, like, undo all the tainted water.
Yeah, maybe.
Maybe, yeah.
It's not.
Yeah, so the takeaway from this movie is...
Yay for strong female protagonists, boo for bad movies, and this is the kind of bad movie that you should only watch if you love Hong Kong action movies that are really camp.
Number 9.